New toy come in today. I'm excited to try out from ULTRAVIEW. Always like their stuff. I think they're innovative and stuff, like sending this out. It's not a big deal, but sending something out that you can test the way a release feels in your hand. Hadn't seen anything like that before, so put that over there out of the way, I guess. What I'm going to be trying out, see if I can... Hinge 2. So I've got the Hinge 1, and I love it. The one thing that I wanted to do with Hinge 2 was be able to get it to where the click was when I anchor more, and not so much like I'm rotating my hand, then I get to the click, and then when you hear that click, you immediately jump, and then you start trying to settle back down and then pull on through. I want to get to where I can anchor, click, and then I got a little bit of a pull before a shot goes off. And the ability to adjust the moons right here, I think, is going to give me that ability. And I've still got my Hinge 1 as a backup if something were to happen with this one, or it messes up on me. I've got my other Hinge, which I love. So that's what I'm going to be playing with here. So far, I really think it's cool. I did just a little bit on the shot trainer, and it seemed to work really good. So I'm going to be tuning these in and seeing if I can get in this... get my anchor, my click, and my fire set up like I want it. So, shoot some bows. All right, so this is Hinge 1. Similar, but this is real floppy. You have the ability to adjust your hot and cold here. I never really messed with it a whole lot. It was a great release. I still keep it as a backup release. It's a really good release. I had issues with... this would start separating sometimes, so I'd have to get some pliers and squeeze it back down. I shot it a bunch, so it wasn't a big deal. I did have this pin fall out one time during a tack event. That little screw right there. The pin fell out. The click, the actual release itself, the moon fell out. So that happened one time. So every once in a while, I give this a little tighten just to make sure. But very similar between Hinge 1 and step in here. Hinge 1 and Hinge 2. This one's a little wider. Hinge 2 is a little wider. And you don't have the floppiness anymore because it's got a little magnet back there, which is good. It didn't really bother me, but I know some people it bothered them. But what makes Hinge 2 worth the upgrade and the price tag is the ability right here to adjust the click and the fire. You can see that right there, and they send you a wrench, and they've got good YouTube videos and stuff that you can adjust that. And I won't go through that because there's plenty of those out there, but you loosen this, and then you can adjust these to be hotter or colder, however you want them. What I like about it, and what made me want to pull the hinge on one of these, is there was no way for me to adjust this to where my anchor point was the click. And everyone would always say, well, just change your hand placement. However you anchor, move your hand out a little more until that's where the click is. That's easier said than done. It's easy to say, well, just change your hand. Well, what feels natural for me was not at the anchor. My anchor was not naturally where the click was. So I would have to pull, then click, and then you would jump, and your pin would start going crazy, and then you'd start getting the target panic, and you'd slam it. With the Hinge 2, you have the ability to adjust it. And so when you can adjust that, now where my hand naturally wants to anchor is the click. And then all I'm doing is slowly pulling my ring finger through and making it fire. And I can adjust that hotter or colder based on these settings in here. So far, it's really improved my shot. I have way more of the surprise shots now where it just goes off and your pin's just floating and it just goes off. And your brain automatically brings it back to the X, at least sometimes. But what I'm doing today, I'm working on some blank bells. Just kind of make sure I don't develop any more target panic than I already have, and I thought it'd be a cool opportunity to show you the difference in the two. All right, so first, Hinge 1, I'm gonna try to get where you can hear the click. I'm just going through my normal motions at close range. See if you can hear where the click is and me pulling through the click, and you can kind of get the idea of what I'm saying about as I'm going through my rotation, it clicks, and then I have to gather myself back up and then continue that rotation, which is not great for target panic or accuracy. All right. Here we go again, hinge 1. So a little fast there, but you can tell like I'm having to pull before I get to the click pretty good ways. And at close range, it doesn't really build much panic because your pin kind of stays in the yellow. But at 20 yards and 30 and 40 yards, it really builds panic when your pin's just moving around and you're going in and out of the X. So if you deal with the issue of panic or getting to the click and then having to regather yourself and steady yourself and then continue on through the click to the fire, you might look at upgrading to hinge 2. All right, so this time we're looking at hinge 2, which I've adjusted these settings to where I consider it, I guess most people consider it pretty hot. I consider it normal. So when I get to anchor, I'm pretty much at the click. I might have to move just a little bit for it to go ahead and click, and then I'm relaxed and slowly pulling through my shot. And that's what I'm working on today anyways, is going through that kind of slow and building muscle memory and not anxiety about it. So see if you can hear the click right about at anchor. So I don't know if you can hear that or not, but the click seems a little quieter. I don't know if that's the moon or the settings or what seems to influence that, but I keep doing this every time I pull it out of my pocket, just trying to reset it, but I know it's the new one. I don't have to. One more. So the adjustability of this is incredible. And I know you can order different clicks and different moons and stuff for other releases, and you can do that with the Hinge 1. The problem is I don't want to spend $30 or $50 and it not be what I think it's going to be. The adjustment, the draw is wrong, and then I got to order another $30 or $50 moon and keep guessing around. It's kind of like Matthew's mods. When you're buying a used bow with Matthew, you got to start ordering mods, and you're like, I think I need a 27. When you order the 27, it didn't fit. It's like, well, that was $50, $60, whatever. Now I got to order another mod and try to figure it out. Well, I got $150 in mods. Same thing with moons. I don't want $100 in moons. I just want to be able to adjust this one, lock it back down, and go shoot it. And if I ever start developing, where I'm punching it too much, I can make it a little bit colder. Turn the wrench the other way to the left and start making that a little longer draw, maybe where I'm not just slamming it. But so far it feels incredible. It is very comfortable in your hand. I encourage you to buy this. I mean, it's been a great release. I keep the other one as backup. It's really improved my shooting. I really wish they'd make a youth one. So if you know anybody at ULTRAVIEW, tell them to make one for a youth, because my kid will stop getting target panic and punching his trigger.